What is happening, gang? It's your boy Techneex, and we are back with some more Bleach Rebirth of Souls. That is right. And today we have Shuhei Squad 9. We are cooking. Shuhei Hisagi is here. We're about to go ahead and get a long range specialist. Well, I'm thinking that he's supposed to be. But of course, we know that they can give us something different for his particular moveset. So I don't know exactly what we're getting. I'm just hoping that he is a long range specialist, just like his Shikai showed us in the show per se. And I'm hoping that that's the case. That's just me. But if anything, we're here to watch this. Let's watch it. Let's see what happens. Let's get to it. And if you guys have any questions, y'all already know what to do. Y'all can leave it in the comment section. I will answer them as best as possible. I'll also leave a link to my Discord channel. That is right, to the Techneex Discord channel, so we could speak more on Bleach Rebirth of Soul. If you play any other video games in regards to like anime video gaming, Sparking Zero, Bleach Rebirth of Souls, Bleach Brave Souls, you name it, we talk about all that there as well. And we do, of course, FGC content, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Tekken, you name it, we play it. We got that out there. So the Discord will be down in the link below, and the previous video link will be down below as well. Holla at me and let's get right to it. Shuhei, please show me that they did you right. Let's get it. All right, here we go. So, okay, Zankensoki.
I'll show you true fear.
Let's see. Hisagi fear will be accumulated. Okay, so he has a fear accumulation. I wonder what that's gonna be like. Sakaho and Sakutsui Haien. Okay, a warrior's pause. Is that a? That's a counter, an obvious counter. Okay. Rip Kazushini. Yeah. This is cold. All right, let's see. Shikai Kazushini. Overturn the tides of battle. Accept your soul. Shuhei Hisagi. There's going to be a fear gauge, which is going to be very interesting. I'm looking forward to that. So let's go ahead and skip the intro, read what they got here for his intro, of course. The almighty lieutenant of Squad 9 who excels in all Zankensoki techniques. He becomes stronger by accepting his fears. Fear accumulation. Hisagi's fear will be accumulated by the destruction of the Konpaku or being in the awakening state. The more fear is accumulated, the more damage will increase and the performance of some of the moves will change. Interesting. Number 31, Hado number 33, and Hado 54. So all these are spiritual moves, number 1, and I'm assuming that they're based off the bar that you're building. So Hado number 31, depending on the amount of fear you have accumulated, Kido that Hisagi will fire changes from Shakaho, Sakatsui to Haien. The performance will increase according to the change. So essentially, Shakaho, which is what we already know from Rangiku has it, so does Rukia. Momo is another character that everyone's been objectively thinking that she will be coming out with Shakaho as well. Shakaho, Sokatsui, and Haien are 3 different Hado techniques, and they're built up based off how much fear bar you have. So that was the Shakaho. This is the Sokatsui, which looks exactly like the Shakaho but blue version, and then the Haien, which is the final attack, is purple and it does multiple damage. But also, if you didn't catch it, it also, when you hit them with the Haien, it causes them to stagger in place and gives you movement. So the first 2 levels, it just blasts them back and does hurt damage. The 3rd level, from what I just saw there, goes ahead and completely catches you and stuns you in spot or staggers you on the spot in order for you to continue a combo. Now, a warrior's pause is a counterattack, so you take a counterattack stance with his arms ready. Hisagi will turn to the opponent's back and attack and activate Suruzi right in as a follow-up attack, since the damage will increase depending on the amount of accumulated fear. It can be a reversal move at the end of the battle. So basically, the damage on this particular technique increases based off how much fear you have, and that also does damage accumulation and builds up damage accumulation. Now, that doesn't mean that you're going to be able to follow up after this counterattack. That's not what is stated. Possibly if you use your dash step feature, your soul mechanic, then possibly you could do it that way. But as far as like initial hit, no, you can't close the gap in regards to just being able to just step forward after you hit him, as you saw, because the character got blasted back. But you take more damage. Cool thing is that you can use that particular technique as the ender to a battle, or the ender to that particular round. So if you're about to break someone's Kampaku, for example, right, and they attack you and you're slashing away, and then you just stop at the counter attack and they hit you, then this will automatically hit them and knock them all the way back, and more than likely activates your special move almost immediately, as what I saw per there where it said it can very much be used at the end of the battle. So that's just my thought. Now here we have his awakening, of course, is the Shikai Kazashini. The movement of the flash attack will change, gaining Hisagi the means of mid-range attack. Although the increase of the performance is not high, it will show his high potential when including the enhancement of the accumulated fear. So when you do have the awakening here, then the business starts happening. Now what I mean by business is now Hisagi is the way he's supposed to be played and meant to be played. And I honestly think that this is giving you guys an insight, and I want you guys to take this as an insight from me, from my perspective, as to what this means. This game is heavily predicated on your battles within awakening mode. You can get awakening mode within the first 3 minutes. Honestly, these matches can go long, if anything, especially if you have high level players knowing how to push back, knowing how to do things, or whatever the case might be. The Kampaku bars don't go down as fast either. If you've seen any previous gameplay, depending on the character, it could take you a little bit longer to knock down those 5-6 bars that you have per Kampaku. So ultimately, what his Shikai does is give him the access to what his full moveset is supposed to be and how he's supposed to be. That is in line with what the game wants to push out, in the sense of that being in your awakening mode is honestly where they want you to be at. Now, does this apply universally to all 100% characters? Not really, because if you watch my previous video with Saji, I explained that if you have a giant Bankai or you have a giant Shikai or something like that of the sort, normally Shikais are not giant, but if you have a form that's big on screen, like, it's going to be broken in an arena game like this, so you have to put a limiter or something like that, which is exactly what they applied. But if you play with Saji in his base form and you do an attack, his Shikai comes out partially, like the hand, or like the feet, or like the sword partially comes on screen, and he stabs at the character, or punches the character, or breaks the character back, something like that, in order to be innovative for you to use giant Shikais and giant Bankais and things like that of the sort. So, some characters don't have this kind of situational setup. In this case, with characters like Shuhei, characters like Rukia, characters like Rangiku, as we see the pattern, they all usually start off with their sword. They activate Awakening, and then activating Awakening gives them access to the full setup of what the character can actually do. This is very similar to the V trigger in Street Fighter V. I'm not a big fan of it, I can tell you that. That things are basically locked behind the Awakening mode, but they work very well in the sense of giving you like the fear bar that allows you to use, you know, stronger attacks and things like that of the sort. So that way his standard mode isn't whack per se. It looks like in this case, a lot of the characters' real sauce in this game will be locked behind the awakening mechanic. They just made it that even in your standard form, you're not just outright losing the battle slash not having any sauce. That's cool. I get it. Some characters though, they start off standard and they go into Bankai and their movesets and everything barely changes. All they do is just get a buff. So sometimes it's like they ran out of ideas. That's just the way I feel with some characters, like Ichigo, for example. I'll give it to you guys how it is in this video because that's how I feel about Shuhei. And then essentially, it's just giving him his full range access to his mid-range attack, full range attack from across the screen, of course, with enhanced versions of his techniques and such in order to deal much more damage and to be able to control spacing. And you have his ultimate attack, of course, that's there that you can do once you broke the Konpaku. So pretty much to wrap this up, Shuhei is essentially locked behind his awakening mechanic. The majority of his movesets per se are going to be that much better once you go into his Shikai. That's standard. I guess that's the way it would work even in the anime, because them fighting with their regular swords wouldn't be as strong as obviously releasing their Shikai and such. Now, does that make him useless outside of his Shikai? That's the big question, and that's where my little rant from earlier comes from. And it feels that way because this character essentially doesn't have his Shikai form out the gate, and the majority of his techniques are essentially generalized techniques. On the flip side though, when you do go into his awakening mode, you have access to a slew of new techniques slash upgraded versions of your attack, and you build up your fear accumulation a lot faster. I think that he's going to be a headache if you know how to play the game and you know how to maintain your distance until you awake the character. Do I see him as an X factor, see him as one of the best characters in the game? Debatable. He's just going to be in the middle of the pack until either he gets a buff slash someone goes ahead and shows us some kind of busted shit with him. That's just my opinion. Anyway, thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for listening. And if you guys enjoyed this video, y'all know what to do. Share it. Put your thoughts in the comment section, and I will catch you in the next one. Techneex, I'm out. Peace.